to the Hypnotic Sunday service. Oops, better edit the title. Or else it's going to upload as the MK Monday, which is tomorrow. So, but here we are. It's September 17th, 2023. And do you believe that we're already halfway through September?
That we're already halfway through.
And I'm still trying to figure out how to adjust this.
halfway. And I'm still trying to figure.
And I'm just making sure that this is showing up on my main profile instead of it just being for me. And if anybody knows how to adjust that, please tell me, because I don't know how to change it by default where it's still just saying just me to view it on my main Facebook profile. But I think we've got that now. So welcome again, everybody. And today I wanted to talk about anxiety. And more than just that, I wanted to talk about the attention economy and how I think that feeds into a lot of the additional anxiety that people feel every day. Now, one of the things that we need to really accept, and it's tough, especially when you're dealing with it. I know I've been there. Is that anxiety is natural. We are never going to just not feel it. We are hardwired for it. It's a protective mechanism. It has a benefit for us. It keeps us alive. It helps us survive. Right? So the approach when it's firing off inappropriately, and we're feeling it when we shouldn't be, it really does do a number on us. And we end up treating it as if it's something we have to fight, something we have to defeat and overcome, when really it's trying to help us. We just need to make peace with it and go, hey, can you tone it down a little bit? You're going off a little too much. And reset it so everything is firing off properly, that it's not coming up inappropriately. And it's anxiety is a state of hypervigilance, right? It's that fight, flight, freeze, and we are always scanning for things, scanning for threats. Everything is that we do is meant to benefit us in some way, usually protect us, right? Anxiety is no different. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't know to run away from actual danger. It tells us to get out. So we have, the amygdala, it's always going fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze, like this. And when we have anxiety, it's stuck open, and we're stuck in that state of hypervigilance. And in order to get past it, we need to get it moving properly again, scanning normally instead of being stuck in that hypervigilant state. And that's what I specialize in with hypnosis, is getting us past that and making peace with it, instead of fighting it, accepting there are going to be times when we feel it, and we are going to feel uncomfortable in a lot of different ways. But that doesn't mean we have to be stuck in that fight, flight, freeze mode where everything feels in the body like it's a massive danger to us. Now, one of the things I think that contributes a lot is, we get overwhelmed with information. Our conscious mind handles 7 to 9 plus or minus 2 bits of information at any given time, and it's swapping out that what goes into our memory long term versus short term, that point of focus now. And these days, in the internet age, the information age, we are constantly bombarded with things vying for our attention. That's the attention economy, right? Everything is about engagement. Get the eyeballs. Stop the scroll. Stop scrolling. Stop scrolling. Watch this. Do this. Like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell button to get notifications so you know whenever I go live. And leave a comment and let me know what you think. Join in the conversation. If you're on Facebook, go to chat.restream.io and connect. So when you leave a comment, I can see your name and hop in the chat and say hi. But right, that's a perfect example of everything that's vying for our attention all the time. And it gets overwhelming. I mean, I get frustrated with just the amount of notification badges the different apps keep giving me on my phone. And it's tough because it's like I have this time lock jar, basically. I would love to just drop my phone in it and leave it there all day and only touch it, in the evenings or whatever. But due to the nature of my work and the fact I use my phone for work, for creating content, things like that, emails, all of that good stuff, I don't get to break away. And it's funny because I didn't touch it last weekend, with it being what it was. I decided to take the weekend off and not do anything Sunday service or MK Mondays last week. And I didn't touch my phone, and I had so many notifications on there. I'm like, how am I going to get through this? So my email gets like that, and I don't even want to touch it. It's that kind of like you just shut off at some point. And the attention economy. So one, we're getting overloaded with things, and that makes us anxious. What am I missing? Am I missing out on this? Everything is designed to give us that FOMO, the fear of missing out on something. So we have to be constantly connected and checking and engaging and all of that stuff. And on top of that, like especially with social media, there's the polarization aspect to it, where you're going to be shown something that really upsets you, that makes you angry or scares you, because when your emotional state changes to that, you're going to be more likely to engage with it. And at the same time, you're going to be shown things that you like, that make you laugh, that make you happy, one right after the other. Here's some a funny cat meme that you enjoy. Here's something that you like, and you go, "Aw." And then you see the next thing, and you go, "Ugh." But there's never anything that's really just kind of like, meh. I mean, I guess that's not true. I say a lot of stuff comes up for me that just, eh. But again, it wants you to keep going to find those things that you're going to engage with, because of the polarizing aspect to it. That's what hooks us in. That's what grabs the attention, and gets you to stop scrolling, gets you to leave a comment, gets you to like this video and engage with it. That's what the platforms want. And that's what, as creators we want. I want people to engage with my stuff. I mean, that's what it's here for, I guess. But everything is really vying for our attention. And, it's important to remember that when our emotional state changes in those very dramatic ways, whether, we're becoming aroused either towards anger or towards joy, but especially as we're switching back and forth, we're becoming more suggestible. And then here come the ads, right? So that's how it works. And that's just, the natural progression of things when you have something like this with so much information that, we're overwhelmed, and the brain just goes, make it stop. And okay, well, maybe if I distract myself by buying this in the ad, it'll stop. I'll get my mind off of whatever for a little bit. We get those distractions thrown at us, or maybe you just scroll a little more and try to find something that'll distract you so you can forget about the thing that made you feel uncomfortable. But it's really difficult. And I was thinking about this because of a post I saw where people were saying, and these were like, young kids that didn't believe that voicemails that people left that were on the planes on 9/11 were real. Because, well, they don't have phones on planes. Can't use phones on planes. And you can't. But back then, in the back of the seat, there were phones. You use a credit card. You could make a call. It wasn't cheap, but you could do it. And the other difference is, like, phones back then seemed to had better range. I mean, something that I could be imagining, but I don't think I am, because I know, like, okay, the second the plane takes off, when I'm on it, I'm losing signal unless there's, Wi-Fi on the plane. But back then, I mean, granted, we didn't have as secure cellular networks or anything. It was more of that radio frequency base versus like the secure whatever that we have now. But if you were in, range or something, yeah, you could get a signal. You could make a phone call from a plane with a cell phone. They didn't like that at all because it interfered with the navigation equipment, and that's why they used to also be gung-ho about turning off all electronic devices. Now they're just like, yeah, put it in airplane mode. I don't think anybody ever does. But it was interesting to me because, like, here, and I've noticed this with a few things, because I like, dipping into nostalgia. I'm a big fan of the Max Headroom signal hijack. I'll be talking about that more next month in November for the anniversary of it. But this was something I distinctly remember as a kid. I'm like, this is so weird and so cool and kind of creepy too. It ticked all the boxes that really captured the imagination. And I saw a video came up on my YouTube feed about it, and I watched that, and it was like people were making all of these things that happened that were pretty straightforward at the time. You know, and I remember these. Even if I was young, it's like I remember this was straightforward. And but now, like the new generation, because they don't have the same sort of frame of reference that we had, because life has changed so much. Just our technology and the way we interact with the world is so absolutely different that it's an alien concept almost to to young people these days. So they're taking something that was like a pretty straightforward thing and making it into a big mystery. I'll probably talk more about this tomorrow. But what I know, so I'm like, we are losing the like we're able to actually witness this in real time, the loss of knowledge over time, where things, details become forgotten that aren't necessarily documented in the main story, and then these things sound absolutely weird and insane. Like, how could that be possible? And it leads to, I think, a lot of conspiratorial thinking in a way. But there is that we don't know what we don't know. Um, and as attention spans continue to get shorter, that's happening faster and faster. And again, that's the attention economy. Oh, something happens, news outlets are rushing to be the first to report on it, and they're going to do shoddy reporting, more than normal, because they don't have any of the details. They're just trying to get out ahead of the game. And then when things are wrong, people are like, okay, well, now there's all this speculation, there's different things going around, and who knows what's real, simply because of the flood of information. There's so much of it. It's not even that any of it's wrong. It's just that there's so much we can't sort through it. And that alone can create a lot of anxiety in people. Because where's the off switch? Your senses are being bombarded constantly. Um, the other thing I noticed, and this is kind of more what I wanted to talk about, was I made a video the other day, and I'm like, okay, it was like a 4-minute video, something like that. Fine, posted it on TikTok, which you can follow me on TikTok, Hypnosis with Evan. But I posted that, and that was fine. I go to post it on Instagram and Facebook, and it was too long for to be one of their reels. So I'm like, okay, I need to edit this down to like 90 seconds basically. And I chopped a lot of stuff out, and I got it down, and I'm like, okay, I definitely think the longer one is much better. It contains the information that I wanted to deliver, but more importantly, it delivered it in a way when I'm speaking that was more congruent. I try to be somewhat deliberate in my choice of words, and I will utilize pauses. I will utilize different patterns, and it's a stylistic thing too, as much as it is me trying to convey information. But we all have our own styles, right? We have our own ways of speaking. Like, if you draw anything, you have a specific style that's unique to you. It's your handwriting, it's yours. And mine has this kind of slower tempo, a little more deliberate, utilizing pauses, giving space in between for the message I'm delivering to kind of hit home. With the attention economy, and here I'm having to cut this down, there's like barely room for a breath in it. And that's great for, like fast talking people. It doesn't really matter. Um, but it doesn't fit my natural speaking tempo. And I found myself feeling kind of frustrated about that. I'm like, I like doing stuff like this. I like doing long form. I mean, I'm just kind of going here, right? But, and it's not the most interesting thing to watch, but there are some gems that come into these. And even when I have something planned out, I've done this deliberately like this, but then to go through the editing process and take it all down, it's like, wow, there's no space. Is my message actually getting through? And that creates like a sense of frustration. And I wonder, like, how many people feel that, like, when they're watching these. And I definitely see the appeal of short form videos. I mean, like, God knows, I don't think I would sit here and watch this for the 20 minutes I've been talking already. I couldn't do it. There's um, not not without more of a point, I guess. But I'm not sitting down and scripting these out yet either. Um, it's just kind of a live stream of consciousness. But when we're scrolling through and we're watching these like short form things, because it's so fast, that has to be triggering that kind of fight, flight, freeze thing. It's like, what was this that I'm just getting bombarded with? So consuming these videos can actually make us more anxious, especially if you're already feeling it. And that's by design, more of the design of our psychology than it is with individual videos. But that's why these platforms do these sort of things and favor that type of content, is because, one, it keeps you on the platform longer, and two, because your senses are being bombarded. Like I said, you're changing your state, you're in that hyper vigilant sort of state. What's going on? You need answers. Here comes an ad. You're more likely to buy, and that's how it all works. And there's nothing wrong with just taking a step back when you're feeling overwhelmed. And that was something else. Another reason why I took last week off was just to center myself, just to step away from things for a bit, as much as I could, and just be. And it's important to notice and realize, especially, that there is a big difference between going, okay, I need to step back and regroup and get grounded and then get back to things, versus being reactive to whatever emotions we're feeling, any sort of discomfort, and then going, I'm throwing everything out. Fuck it. Yeah, that's a destructive way of handling it. But stepping away in a constructive way, so you can come back to things fresh, is actually a really good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, that is it for today, I think. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday. And tomorrow, I'm shooting for around, well, I don't know what time, actually. But there will be MK Monday sometime tomorrow, hopefully before lunch. So, Pacific time. So, yeah, that is today's show. So I hope you join me tomorrow. And take care, and I will be seeing you.